this video we want to take a look at the Assert Functoid, which is a brand new Functoid in BizTalk 2006. So we'll put it on the screen here, but we have to set up to be able to use it first. So in the scenario that I have here, this is our complex PO that came from a flat file. And we have a total amount here, and then what if that amount is not equal to the total of all the items that they actually ordered? So what we want to do is do some math here to actually determine if that amount is correct or not. So we're going to multiply the quantity times the price at each line level, and then we want to sum that up, so we use the cumulative sum function. And now we want to compare to see if that's equal to the total amount, so we're going to use the equal functoid. I can hide these other items here. And I want to compare total amount to the actual total of all the line items they ordered. Now if we look at the new Assert Functoid, it says it must have exactly 3 input parameters. It's used to throw an exception with the second parameter as the error message if the first parameter is evaluated to be false. When the project is built debugged, the Functoid outputs the third parameter. This Functoid requires 3 input parameters. So what we want to do is slide this over a little bit. We want to take this equal sign here, which will give us a true or false. So that's the first parameter. The second parameter is the total amount is not equal to the actual total of all the line items. And then the third parameter would be what you want to use if it's true. So I added a new field on the right here called PO total amount, and we'll map it over there if it's true. So now we need to let's go and just build this project, and then we need to look at what test data we've been using on this. So if I do right click properties, I see the name of my test file is flat file purchase order complex. So we need to go look at that file. And this is the last order we did with that type of data. And so the point is that the 188.93 here should be equal to the sum of these two numbers right here. So now let's actually test that map. So we come back here and say test map. Okay, actually has an error here. It says the Assert Functoid has 2 input parameters. So we never actually put the third parameter into it. So what we need to do is copy the total amount over here as well, so that when it's okay, the total amount will get mapped to the right side of the data. So let's do test map again. So I did the test map, and now it looks okay. There are no errors here at all. So now if I just simply go back here and change this to 94 cents, so we know that that's not a correct total, we come back here and we test the map again. You see we have an error right here. It says the transform, you got an XSL transform error, unable to write the output file. And the reason is the transform terminated, and it says the total amount is not equal to the actual total of all the line items. And again, that was basically our little message that we put in right here as the second parameter to the Assert Functoid. Now the next logical question would be, what would happen if you actually drop this file through a receive port? So we're going to go back to our map demo in over here, and we're going to drop the bad flat file purchase order complex. BizTalk has picked it up. We go to hat. And notice there were no problems here. So this is 1113. The file actually went through. So why did it go through? Assert is more of just a testing function. So if you look at the comment here, it says when the project is built in debug mode, then this error will occur. but not in production mode. And basically, well, yeah, we didn't actually check to see how the project was built. So actually I never redeployed it even. So first of all, let's redeploy it. We'll see how our project is being deployed. So over here is, actually I want to project properties, not solution properties here. So here's deployment. Okay, so we actually do want the solution properties. So we go back to the solution, go to this tab here called configuration, and you notice that there's a column that says development or deployment right here. So let's click, make sure they're all set to development, and then let's redeploy the solution. While that's redeploying, I'm going to go ahead and bump the BizTalk server. So we're going to go to host instances and do a restart. Meanwhile, I checked over here, the deploy is still running. The deploy has now finished, and now we're going to go drop the file again. So now, even though it says it completed here, this is kind of interesting, you actually have an error. So if you come over here and right click message flow, you get our little message. The total amount is not equal to the actual total of all the line items. So the confusing part about that is usually when you have the word completed over here on the left, you assume it completed successfully. You don't usually come and look at the error messages. Now if I were to redeploy this with, change my properties to deployment mode and I rerun the whole thing, then presumably I would not get this error because this error for Assert is only for development mode. So this concludes the teaching about the new Functoid called Assert.